This is Paul Kelly for ESBR Boxing. Delighted to be joined in Belfast at the historic Ulster Hall by Mark Dunlop. Mark, good to be back, and yeah, looking forward to your show on February 1st at the Ulster Hall.
Yes, it's an exciting announcement to be, bringing BBC back to boxing and back to the big time on a Saturday night. So yeah, it's a fantastic achievement for myself personally, but also for boxing in Northern Ireland.
You mentioned that MHD Promotions has been it's been the longest-serving promotional company in the country for 13 years or so now.
Yes.
Now, what does it mean to you to have a show like this, as you mentioned, back on BBC, who maybe haven't been involved in professional boxing for a long time?
Yeah. Well, as I say, it's fantastic. I mean, I've been doing TG4 for a couple of years now, which is very good, but obviously the BBC is a humongous platform, and for them to come support me, and it's taken a long time to get here. If it works well, we'll go again. There's more dates to come, so it's good for local fighters.
Just running through the card, you mentioned there's going to be a female fight on it. I've spoken to Charles, I've spoken to Theo. Just kind of run through the card and why people should tune in and watch this one.
Yes, well, as I say, starting off, Kate, it's good. She can't be here today. She's in Waterford, but she's training. She's on a matchroom card before then. It's just exciting to have a girl fighter on. There's not too many up in the north, so yeah, it was good to have to tick a box and put her on. Then Theo, I've heard big things, great big things about him. He's an exciting fighter. Actually, Potty, his manager's tried to rein him in a bit. He wants to fight for the world title now. In the second fight, I'm just saying, calm down. It's a learning. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. But no, he's exciting and he's got a great fan base. And it's kids from all over the country, isn't it? They're all over Ireland. So it's giving everyone a chance as well to bring their own fans as opposed to being a stacked Belfast card.
Absolutely, but you've been in boxing long enough now as well. But does it excite you? You've obviously seen some of the best fighters from this country, but does it excite you seeing this new breed coming through?
Well, it's their cycles. It takes about 3 years to bring a guy to like 10 fight, 10, 11 fights, and then it's time to see how good they really are. It can be exciting, it can be disappointment, it can be heartbreaking, but they need to know as well where their level is. So I think, come 1st of February, we potentially, could have a couple of stars or lads have found their level. But in my heart of hearts, I know I've got a couple of stars there,
Absolutely, a couple of stars. One of them may be Colm Murphy, co-headlining, of course. I've spoken to Colm plenty of times. He's a top lad.
Yeah, work in progress. Colm's unbelievable. No, you have to hold him back from going to the gym. He would train, he would live in the gym. He's improving. His coach Dan's doing wonders with him. He fought a tough Mexican in the SSC a few weeks ago, and he was fantastic. He just handled it really easy. And this same Mexican I've seen give people a lot of trouble. The Jack Turner fight, we can go to the trenches. He went to the trenches in here as an amateur. He's got some real good amateur pedigree and some wins over guys that have come on and turned out to be really good amateurs. So yeah, I'm very excited for Colm's future. And as I say, this is his third belt, and he won an eliminator to get the opportunity to fight for it. He won it, and now he's going to defend it. So yeah.
Absolutely. I've spoken to Colm a couple of times after his last fight at the SSC and then today, and he said it would be a dream of his. Well, he's very grounded. I think I said to him before what his goals are for boxing. He just says he wants to fulfill his potential, which is refreshing because you do get fighters who say I want to win this, this, and this. Yeah. He's just saying he wants to fulfill his potential. Yeah. However, he also has mentioned the British title in the past. Yeah. Is that something you see as being realistic before the end of 2025 for Colm?
Not just for Colm. I mean, there's a chance of getting Tommy back there, Conor Quinn getting an opportunity to fight, and John Cooney. For my dream, we all have dreams, steps, and goals. My goal for 2025 would be to have 4 British champions and then push on from there and have an amazing 2026. But to see what the future brings. But what I do know is they're all going to come here on the 1st of February and leave it all on leave their swords, everything, just go for it.
Whether you're involved in promoting or managing yourself, Mark, you've kind of, as I said, mentioned you've been around boxing in Belfast for so many years. Yeah. 2025, you mentioned that they could have a dream for you would be having 4 British titles. I was speaking to John Cooney there, excuse me, before, and he seems to really want that Reece Bellotti fight. He wasn't holding back on Michael Gomez as well. Yeah. Is that a fight you want to see for him?
Well, yeah, I'd like to see. Excuse me, I'd like him to see the fight for the British title, whoever's in front of him. But first, he has to beat Nathan Hall, so he has the same dreams and aspirations. And I know he's a tough nut because, I say, all Welsh boxers are tough, and to come here to the Dragon's Den, I'm expecting a real exciting fight, and the winner will push on. It's not the end for the loser, so Yeah, British title for John would be fantastic. He did have an opportunity to fight for it earlier in the year. He hurt his hand and then he took a bit of time out, let that heal, went to Australia, but now he's back, gung-ho on the phone to me every day wanting a British title shot.
Brilliant, brilliant. And then Tommy McCarthy as well, as you said, kind of needs no introduction, being in some massive fights so far. You want him to win a British title. He was mentioning there that, he's taken inspiration from Anto Kakachi in his journey, that he's still a year younger than Anto Kakachi. Look where he is now. What do you want for Tommy to achieve, and do you still believe that he can go on and win that world title?
If I didn't believe Tommy could go on and win the world title, Tommy wouldn't be on this card. Tommy's his division is he's coming into the prime of his division. He's fought everybody. There's no one really that's fought the people he's fought. They're all afraid to do it. So Tommy's learned, and as I say, he did lose a contentious decision to Chris Smith, which in my eyes and heart of hearts, he won that night, and he's never been the same since. But I've seen the sparkle back. When I say he's never been the same since, I mean he was sickened by boxing because of that there, and he's been going through the motions. But he's still well ranked, and a couple of fights. I'd like to see the Stephen Ward fight. Definitely for him. It's one that's been talked about. Maybe not this time, but a bigger venue would be too big for here, but if we get a bigger venue, I know Stephen would love to challenge Tommy, so that could be something for Tommy. And then after that, the winner pushes on. He does want to go to Saudi, so but he has to win these steps that we're taking.
Absolutely, that would be I'd love that. I'd love that fight. I haven't spoken to Stephen Ward before as well. It would be a fight that I'd love to see in 2025, selfishly as well. You mentioned there Conor Quinn as well. Didn't go his way on the Queensbury debut first time around, but the plan for him in 2025 and bouncing back.
Yes, well, I'd like to even try and see him out in the next few weeks if we can. Conor's ready to go. I'd love him to be on this card, but I don't want to actually lose him an opportunity for a bigger platform. Obviously the BBC, it's fantastic and all, but Frank Warren's the biggest promoter in the world, and as I say, George Warren, I'm waiting on a call from him to sort that out, this next fight out. But once we get that done, if it's not going to be before February the 1st, then I'll stick him on 100%.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, if it's not a big fight, then hope to see him on February 1st. Just before we wrap up, I've asked every single person here their opinion on the upcoming heavyweight clash, Mark, between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, the rematch. Don't know how you thought the first fight would go, but the second fight, again, varying opinions, fairly even. People still calling it a 50-50. Yeah. How do you see the rematch playing out?
I think Fury will win this time on points. I think it's just, maybe underestimated or whatever, but there wasn't much in it last time. He did lose a fight, excuse me, but I think, he's been laying a low profile, hasn't he? So, I think he's more focused than he's ever been for anything in his life. I mean, AJ's come back and won, and I think Fury will want to do that as well after his first defeat.
Absolutely. And just finally, Mark, bringing it back to now, why should people tune in to BBC Sport NI on February the 1st and watch this show?
Well, they're going to see a mixture of the up-and-coming talent in the island of Ireland, and they're also going to see, championship boxing, and it's free to air, so they're going to watch it in the comfort of their own home and not have to pay anything for it, so which is really good. But there is still tickets left, so I know it's still 10 weeks to go, but come in, let's make it a sellout in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be happy days.
Absolutely, some late Christmas presents for people there. Get yourselves a ticket for this show. 100%. Mark Dunlop, thank you very much for speaking to ESBR Boxing. Pleasure as always.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you.